Welcome to Proudy's weekly music news roundup podcast, where myself and the team take a look back at this week's music news.
Boy George says he wants a shot at writing the UK's next Eurovision entry. The Culture Club singer teamed up with Senhit to represent San Marino at this year's contest in Vienna, with their track Superstar, but the pair failed to qualify from the first semi-final. Despite the setback, the Karma Chameleon star says he'd love another chance, this time by penning a winning song for Britain. Speaking to Chris Moyles on Radio X, he said of his Eurovision experience, "I wanted to go, and it was really mad. I mean, I would have liked to have got through to the final, to see whether we got any of the null points or whatever. Because that's what you go for. I want to find out, would we have got any points?" He then highlighted the long-standing rule that the UK, France, Germany, Spain, and Italy automatically qualify for the Eurovision Grand Final because of their financial contributions to the EBU. He said, "But I will say something a little bit controversial. If 5 countries can get into the show without any process, how's that a competition? Just saying." George went on to put himself forward for the UK's next entry. He said, "I'd like to write the British entry. That would be something I would like to do. That's something I would like to do, so I'm putting it out in there." The 64-year-old singer will reunite with Senhit on stage this summer during Culture Club's show in Milan on July 9th. After the semi-final result, George thanked fans on X, writing, "If you voted for us, thank you so much. I was sad we didn't get through to the final, but my @Eurovision experience has been fabulous. I wouldn't take a minute of it back. Thanks to @SenHitOfficial and the entire San Marino delegation. What a fun bunch. We will perform together in Milan in July."
Hey there! Did you know that this podcast has a supporters club? By becoming a supporter of the show, you can gain access to exclusive content and play an active role in helping me to continue producing the content you love. See the link in the episode description for more details. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Sir Paul McCartney hopes Prince's estate will agree to release the late musician's unheard cover of the Beatles' ballad The Long and Winding Road. The 83-year-old was stunned to discover that Prince had recorded a rocky version of the 1970 classic after some guy played it for him following the star's death in 2016. Now he's determined for the world to hear it. Speaking to Vernon Kay on BBC Radio 2's Tracks of My Years, he said, "I'm going to ask them Prince's estate. I could make it into something really good." Describing the track, he added, "It's kind of rocky. He plays some really good guitar on it." McCartney said the man, who he believed was one of Prince's photographers, asked him, "Have you heard Prince do Long and Winding Road?" McCartney replied, "Well, no. That's one of my songs. I don't think he ever did it." He recalled, "So he sent it to me, and it's really great." McCartney was promoting his new album, The Boys of Dungeon Lane, which references an area near the River Mersey in Liverpool, where he spent much of his childhood before global fame transformed his life. The album is heavily rooted in memory and nostalgia. He added, "Probably about half the album is nostalgic. I'm thinking of memories. I'm thinking of places that I remember. And I like that, because it takes me back then, and I'm sort of with those people again. I grew up in a very loving family in Liverpool. So I was very lucky to have these great uncles and aunties and cousins. And I thought everyone had that kind of family. So, when I met John and I'm talking to him, his dad left home when he was 3 years old. And Ringo's got the same kind of story. So I realized how lucky I was, to have this great upbringing." Listen to Paul McCartney's Tracks of My Years on BBC Sounds. The Boys of Dungeon Lane is out now on all major platforms.
Boyzone have insisted they are not going to be a band again after their final concerts next week. The quartet, comprising Ronan Keating, Keith Duffy, Shane Lynch and Mikey Graham, will take to the stage at London's Emirates Stadium for 2 nights, their first concerts since the Thank You and Good Night tour came to an end in 2019, and after that, they insisted won't be performing together again. Shane told the Sun newspaper, "This is the final chapter and I think it has to be. You can't follow up what we've just done. We weren't meant to be here sharing a stage together again. It is a pleasure to be doing this, but look, whatever the future holds, we go away and we come back together in friendships and stuff, and our paths do cross. But we are not going to be a band again. We are very much separate individuals. And while there is still previously unheard Boyzone music hidden away, Ronan insisted fans will never get to hear the songs because they aren't very good. He said, "There are a lot of songs we wrote and recorded that have never seen the light of day, and rightly so, because they are **********. The no matter what group tease, there will be a special moment during the London concerts that allows them to pay tribute to late bandmate Stephen Gately, who died from an undisclosed heart condition in October 2009. Ronan said, "I am finding this especially hard because I know Stephen would have been in his element next week. It is going to be very heavy on my heart next week. I will be carrying that. But there is a moment for him in the show. It's a special moment, it's Steo's moment. It is going to be visually something. Steo would have lapped this all up, more than anything we had ever done as a band. It's going to be hard." The group reflected on their previous tours without Stephen and admitted they previously rushed into getting back on stage. Keith said, "We came back together in 2008 and we were flying. We were on the crest of a wave until we lost Steo. We toured again in 2011, but it was too soon after Steo passed. That tour was a disaster, not on a working level or on a business level but on an emotional level. We decided for the 20th anniversary in 2013. That was a nicer feeling than the one in 2011 because we had become more understanding of Stephen's loss. Time is a great healer."
Hey there! Did you know that this podcast has a supporters club? By becoming a supporter of the show, you can gain access to exclusive content and play an active role in helping me to continue producing the content you love. See the link in the episode description for more details. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Shania Twain has announced an intimate London show that mirrors the bar stages she performed on as a child. Long before she became one of the world's best-selling artists, the Canadian star was singing late at night in Timmins, Ontario, from the age of 8, a formative period she revisits on her upcoming album, Little Miss Twain. The new record draws heavily on those early memories, with Twain exploring the musical roots of Eileen Twain before global fame took hold. To mark the release, she will perform for one night only at the Shacklewell Arms in East London on June 6, her first bar stage appearance in many years. Fans can enter a ballot for the £25 tickets, with the first wave opening Friday, 29/05/26. A second chance will follow via Shania's social channels at 1 p.m. BST for those who miss out. The show is designed as a full-circle moment, tracing her journey from a shy child performer to a chart-topping powerhouse whose influence has been cited by Taylor Swift, Beyoncé, Sabrina Carpenter, and Harry Styles. The London date lands just days before Twain joins Harry for his sold-out 12-night run at Wembley Stadium, the biggest shows of her career, followed by a headline appearance at Thomond Park Stadium in Limerick. The 5-time Grammy winner describes Little Miss Twain as her most soul-searching work to date. The collection pulls together the sounds that shaped her: country storytelling, pop sparkle, rock grit, soul warmth, and even a streak of bluegrass. She explained, "A lot of Little Miss Twain is reflective of my teens, my roots, as well as the energy of the rock and R&B I loved so much, but still with that Western twang. Where I'm from, you don't go anywhere on a horse, you go on a snowmobile. I was dreaming about the Western lifestyle, and I was living in a very different world than where I ended up." Little Miss Twain is out July 24th.
The Pussycat Dolls return to the American Music Awards for a special performance. The Don't Cha hitmakers reunited earlier this year with Nicole Scherzinger, Ashley Roberts, and Kimberly Wyatt back in the fold, and they marked 20 years since their 2006 debut at the award ceremony and treated fans to a special medley. Nicole told the crowd at Monday's, the 25th of May, 26, Armors at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas to make some noise, as the trio kicked things off with 2006 hit single Buttons. They move on with new single Club Song, soon joined by Spliff Star and Busta Rhymes, as the medley came to an end with Don't Cha, to the delight of the audience. Nicole said, we love you. She had previously revealed she wanted the group's Armor's appearance to bring a light of hope to the ceremony. She told People magazine days before the event, "It's incredible. I believe it might have been our first time performing in 2006, and it's crazy that the time flies so much to think that it's 20 years later. Busta Rhymes is a legend. We love him. I actually just did a couple shows with him over the weekend overseas, and to be reunited with him, to be on the same stage with him, is always an honor. And then, to be with my girls in this new iteration, the women we are now in this stage of our lives, and hopefully being a light of hope, joy, and empowerment now to everyone is important for us because we need it now more than ever. We are here to serve that up for them." Last month, the trio made the heartbreaking decision to cancel all but one of their North American tour dates due to poor ticket sales. They said in a statement, "We want to share an important update with you. When we announced the PCD Forever Tour, we hope to bring the show to fans across the world. After taking an honest look at the North American run, we've made the difficult and heartbreaking decision to cancel all but one of the North America dates. At Officially Out Loud at WeHo Pride in Los Angeles is still happening on June 6, 2026, and we could not think of a more meaningful place to celebrate with our fans. The LGBTQ+ community has shown us so much love and support throughout our career, and we are honored to be part of a weekend rooted in joy, pride, music, and chosen family."
Scooter Braun has reflected on the long-running controversy surrounding his purchase of Taylor Swift's early masters, admitting he still doesn't fully understand how the situation escalated. The music executive bought Big Machine label group in 2019 in a deal reportedly worth $300 million, acquiring the master recordings for Taylor's first 6 albums, Taylor Swift, Fearless, Speak Now, Red, 1989 and Reputation. Taylor publicly criticized the sale at the time, saying she was never given the chance to buy the rights herself. The catalog was later sold onto Shamrock Capital, prompting her to begin re-recording the albums. The Shake It Off hitmaker was eventually able to buy back the rights to her music catalog in a landmark $360 million deal. Speaking on the Second Thought with Susie Weiss podcast, Scooter said he had almost no relationship with Taylor before the backlash. He said, "I don't know Taylor Swift. I think I've met her in my life 3 times. I have never had a substantial conversation with her. One time I got invited to a private party by her. She told me she had the utmost respect for me. I told her I had the most respect for her." He insisted he was excited by the idea of working with her when he bought Big Machine. Scooter said, "You don't spend $300 million buying a label that she's on unless you're excited at the opportunity to work with her. I will never truly understand that situation. To this day, I wish her nothing but the best." He went on to say he had no contact with Taylor in the years leading up to the acquisition. He explained, "The party was like 2 or 3 years earlier, and then never had any contact through the whole thing. So I'm just as confused that this is part of my life as you are. But I choose to learn and grow from it." Reflecting on the wider industry, he said the saga highlighted a shift in how artists view ownership. He said, "The majority of masters are still owned by labels. As confusing as it was to me, I think what it did bring to light is that artists are going to start wanting to own their masters, and you're seeing that more and more, and I think that's great."
That's about it for this week's podcast. Thank you to the team and see you all next week for another Proudy's Weekly Music News Roundup.